subscriber. Yeah, I'm a back also. Jump in them sinkies and dump them mimosos. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Hernando de Soto. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Got to my attention about the man with the mojo. My 8th subscriber. Yeah, I'm a back also. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto.
What's going on, everybody? I feel like I haven't been here in so long. It's been like 2 weeks. Nah, I streamed the Tuesday before I went out of town, didn't I? So a little less than 2 weeks, but still. Oh, good. My phone's not muted. Perfect start. Give me a sec. So I realized as I was starting to go live that I hadn't changed the titles at all on any of the things. So I almost went live with the last time my friend Steven streamed, because we share the software, with the titles that he had in there, which I don't even know what it was, but I'm sure it wouldn't be appropriate for my channel, right? So look at how sad Xena looks right now. Are you looking sad on purpose, Xena? Look at her. She's a pro. She is a trained pro. She's just going to sit there and stare at you until you do a super chat. A lot to cover today. I'm so glad to see y'all. Erica, Ron, I see you there. Number 2, as always, good to see you, Christo. Have you guys watched the YouTuber Nick Rekieta from Rekieta? It would help if I could pronounce his name. Rekieta Law. I found him during the Rittenhouse trial, I think. And I preferred to watch the trial, without the talking heads. But I would go back and watch he would do, recaps and stuff. So if I had to actually do my job and actually work, I would go back and watch his recaps. So that's when I found him. So how many years ago was Rittenhouse? Like 3, something like that. Anyway, he's a pretty big law tube guy. And then on this past Thursday, I saw some other YouTubers that I used to watch regularly, and I'm still subscribed to them, so it came up in my feed, talking about this off the rails stream that he did, right? And I guess it had happened, I don't know, a couple days before that, so earlier on last week, where he was just talking crazy. He's getting sued by some guy because he called some guy a pedophile who's not a pedophile, which, by the way, you should not do that. You should not call people that, especially that. Like, you shouldn't assign crimes to people who have not been convicted of crimes, first of all. All you have to do is add in an allegedly here or there. That's all you have to do. He did not do that for this guy. But I want to implore you guys, don't call men pedophiles who there's no evidence that that's a thing, because it's dangerous. Like, how many stories have we covered where people have gotten killed over those allegations? I had Justin Coleman on when he was in jail with somebody who had been convicted of pedophilia, and he was not nice to this guy. You can go back and watch the episode if you want the whole story, but he was not nice to this guy. Turns out it came out afterwards, after Justin was out of prison, that the guy who was in there with him that had that charge on his papers was proven innocent by DNA. So just be careful. People lose their lives that way. Smith is saying he is a pedophile. I don't know the story. I don't know the guy he was talking about or whatever. I know Medicare was involved somehow or wasn't involved, but for some reason, Nick Rekieta was blaming Medicare for introducing him to the guy who he called the pedophile and was getting sued. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So, the story is, as far as I know, that he had this stream where he got really drunk. And now keep in mind, Nick Rekieta drinks on stream a lot. At one point, he got up to go to the bathroom and didn't come back for like 45 minutes or something like that. So it was just streaming his chair. Mr. Mediker was in the chat. So he was going back and forth with him talking about, I can't wait till you die so I can go pet your roses. It sounds like nonsense because it was nonsense. It was just like seriously crazy off the rails stuff. So people were talking about that. I don't like to get into the gossip, but there is another YouTube personality named Adam that I'm going to bring into this story right now. And he does a show called the Steel Toe Morning Show, which I had never heard of before this past Thursday, because of this whole thing. And his wife, apparently him and his wife are getting separated, or they're getting divorced, and they're currently separated. Well, his wife was living at Nick Rekieta's house. I'm assuming they all live in Minnesota. I'm not sure where this Adam guy lived. Hold 1 second. Will you get in your spot? Get in your spot. We're doing a show here. Thank you. You too. Get in your spot. She was doing so well. Ron, I see you there. I will get them a treat as soon as I... Let me get through this, because I got it all up here. I didn't write anything down today. I'm a slacker, you know? A total slacker. So... thank you also, Quest. I will get you as soon as I'm done talking here in a second. Okay, so April is her name? Or is April the wife? Hold on. Let me check my notes. Yeah, April is this Adam guy's wife, is living at the Rekieta's house. The wife's name is Kayla. Long story short, somebody calls in a tip because I didn't see it. I watched the stream where he was going off the rails. I didn't see it, but people were saying when he came back from going to the bathroom for 45 minutes that there was white powder on his nose. I didn't see it. They also said he was masturbating on stream. I don't think he was. That's just my opinion. He deleted the stream. It's out there though. You can definitely find it. You can definitely find the clips of those two things very easily. I don't think either of those things happened, but I think whoever did call the police on him, it wasn't about seeing white powder on his face when he got back from the bathroom. It was that they knew he was doing cocaine. And somebody called. I do know that Adam, the next day after this happened, said that he was not the one that called the police. He said that he was not the one that called the police a lot, like almost too much. He said he wasn't the one. I have no information. So the police go to this house because they're being told that there is cocaine there, and there was a shitload of cocaine there. Pardon the language. Some people are saying it wasn't that much cocaine. It was more than 25 grams. Don't ask me how I know this, but 3.5 grams is an 8-ball. So you can kind of get a little perspective of how much cocaine that is. All right, let's get this up on the screen. Before I get to this next article, thank you very much to Quest Fanning and to Ron. As you guys know, this is the last day of the month for my strip, by the way, if you want to get in on the drawing. But anytime I see a lot of people here, which means there's probably a lot of people here that haven't been here before. But if you donate on my stream, my co-hosts over here get some milk bones. So we'll do that. And then I'm going to get into this Fox 9 news story. Hey, Zena, can you catch? Number 2, do you have the scoreboard, by the way? If you can keep track if she catches. You ready? She's not ready. She's not going to catch this. Nope. Didn't even try. And Ava. Hey, girl. Ava got it. She's better at this than Xena. Xena's getting old. One more. Ava got both. Xena got neither. Okay. Nick Rekieta, Minnesota lawyer and YouTuber facing drug charge. Minnesota-based lawyer and online legal analyst Nick Rekieta is facing a drug charge in Kandahai County. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but that's what we're going with. Rekieta was arrested Thursday along with his wife Kayla and fellow online personality. That's April, the Adam guy's wife. Prosecutors filed charges against Rekieta and his wife on Friday for second-degree possession, child endangerment, and a gross misdemeanor firearm charge. So the possession was cocaine or methamphetamine, but we know that it was cocaine. So it was an upper of more than 25 grams. They put it into categories, like if it's under this amount or over this amount. So it was over 25 grams. The child endangerment charge was a misdemeanor, and that was just because the kids were... That's the other thing. Pray for these children, please. They have 5 children. 4 of them were home at the time. And they're they homeschool their kids too, so the kids don't even have a respite of getting away to school if their parents are all high on cocaine. And then the firearm charge is just that he had a firearm and also had drugs. So he didn't have an illegal gun or anything like that. And I think the way the charge read was firearm or ammo. So I believe, a lot of this that I know is I've just heard people say. I haven't seen the actual report yet. That's why I'm not doing an overruled episode on this. As you guys know, I do deep research on the overruled episodes. I'm just telling you what I know right now on this. It might turn into an overruled episode. You never know. And yeah, look at the chat. There's Smith is apparently following this story too. 28 grams is an ounce. Guys talk, you hear things. Quest Fanning says this. If you say so. I don't math. According to the charges, law enforcement attempted to execute a search warrant on May 23rd at Rekieta's home in Spicer and was greeted by a girl at the front door who would not let them inside. Rumor has it that was April. After Rekieta refused to provide the door code, law enforcement used a door ram to get inside the house and found Kayla, April Hamolte, and 4 juveniles inside. Law enforcement proceeded to search the master bedroom and bathroom, where they allegedly found a variety of drug paraphernalia, including 3 small baggies that tested positive for cocaine, 8 green tablets that tested positive for ketamine, and a digital scale. If you're just a casual user, why do you have a digital scale, and why are you keeping it with the drugs? This is drug user 101. What are we doing here? You put that in the kitchen so you can say, I'm weighing out food. Not that I would know. Right, chat? Not that I would know. There's 134 people here right now. Hello, new people. I'm not good at this, so I'm sorry. But if you like anything about any of this, please hit the like button and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Authorities also found a SIG AR with several magazines and loose ammunition underneath the bed. A spent shell casing on the bedroom floor. Why is there a spent casing in your... I can't think of a reason. We're gun people. There's always a gun within reach of me. To put it that way. We have lots of guns. I don't know why there would be a spent casing unless it was like a 22 LR casing that got stuck inside the tread of your shoes while you were at the range. That it would end up back inside the house. spent casing. I wonder if he had gotten messed up and like fired it in the house. You know what I mean? Yeah, loaded wrench says popping rounds off in the house with the kids there, apparently. Before his arrest, some online users had raised concern about Rekieta's health this week during I can read. This week, sharing a clip of him appearing to doze off during a stream. Dude was nodding out during the stream. I've nodded out before. That's what was happening. Law enforcement noted that Rekieta had several injuries to his arms at the time of his arrest. They described the injuries as sores that are common with controlled substance users, charges said. Rekieta, who owns a law firm based in Spicer, Minnesota, saw his online following skyrocket during the pandemic as he covered cases including Kyle Rittenhouse's trial and the Johnny Depp lawsuit against Amber Heard. He also has more than 150,000 followers on Twitter and nearly 450,000 subscribers on YouTube. Rekieta and his wife are set to make their first court appearance Friday morning, which was 2 days ago Friday. And I did watch it live somewhere else. But the people who I was watching it live were talking over it. I did find this stream, and this channel is called Potentially Criminal. Go over there and give them a sub. They seem cool. Potentially Criminal. But he live streamed this hearing, both April's and Nick's hearings, and didn't talk over it. I like to get the raw. I need the raw stuff. Give me the documents. You know what I'm saying? So we'll watch Nick's. Hearing. It goes off the rails, by the way, guys. So I was watching it live while I was at work. Mistake. I'm sorry. I wasn't watching it. I was listening to it while I was doing my work. If anybody from work is watching. And the code was leaked, like the I guess it was Zoom. I was going to say the Teams code because that's what I use at work, but the Zoom code was leaked on the Kiwi Farms, and people were just piling into this hearing and dropping N-bombs, telling Nick to do all the cocaine and kill himself. It was a little off the rails.
Because Nick's is a little different. Nick's is yeah. Here we go.
I'm gonna have to make it small. You guys know I.
14 days of today's hearing, but you could waive that as well, given your right to seek counsel if you so choose. Do you want this scheduled within 14
All right, I got to make it small. My computer doesn't like it when I make things
days?
big.
Rule 8.
No, Your Honor, I'd like to waive that. We can combine it into a contested omnibus hearing. That would work.
All right, so we could, for today's purposes, combine rule.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. He's representing himself, and we'll find out at the end of this hearing. He's also trying to represent April and his wife. So he's trying to not only represent himself, but he's trying to represent his co-conspirators, which seems like a bad idea because the number one legal defense for drugs is it wasn't mine. So what are you going to do, Nick? It wasn't mine. It was one of these other two people who I'm representing, and I'm supposed to have their best interest in mind. Like, how does that work? I'm not sure.
Rule 5, Rule 8.
Yes, sir.
All right. And before you ask for a speedy, you want to hear what the state is requesting as far as release conditions?
Yes, I'd like to hear what the state is requesting.
I didn't say it, but you also have the right to have me read the complaint today.
No, wait, right, sir.
All right, very well. Mr. Kornhachi, what is the state requesting as far as release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting $50,000 unconditional. In the alternative, we would agree to RPR with standard drug conditions, which would include no use, random testing, no use and possession of firearms, contact probation as directed, don't leave the state without permission from the court, remain law-abiding, keep in contact with probation, and other standard conditions.
Mr. Rekieta, any objection to those conditions?
I object to the $50,000 bail. I think it's unduly burdensome and in violation of the Eighth Amendment.
All right, what about the conditions?
Release conditions sound fine.
All right, the court will set unconditional the amount of $50,000, cash or bond. Conditionally, you'll be released on your own personal recognizance. In all instances, you need to be law-abiding and show
All those little dings you hear it makes that noise when people are joining the stream. So like you'll hear it go constantly during this, and it's people joining the call, the Zoom call.
for all your court appearances. Conditions are as follows: abstain from the use of alcohol or any mood-altering chemicals not prescribed by your physician. That will be subject to random testing. So the court will order that you meet with probation upon your release, sign their agreement, and cooperate fully. You are not to possess any weapons, firearms of any nature, or be in the presence of anyone with a firearm or dangerous weapon. And do not leave the state of Minnesota without prior approval of the court. Any questions about those release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. Did you say 50 or 15,000?
50000. 50.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, let me ask this. Do you still want a speedy omnibus, or can it be scheduled in normal course?
You rescheduled normal course, Your Honor.
Very well. Madam Clerk, do we have a date for that?
I'm sorry, Judge, I'm just going to interrupt. This is Katie Block, the court administrator. Do you want this next hearing to be in person or remote?
In person.
Thank you for the clarification.
Mr. Rekieta, you said contested, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yes, in person.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, just to clarify, timelines are waived?
Yes.
And Madam Clerk, just so the court is aware, Kristen Pierce is handling this case going forward.
No, great. Now that prosecutor's going to get. Oh my God! All these bad emails. Nick is a bad guy.
And the matter has been assigned with Judge Fisher. I'm looking at Tuesday, August 20th at 2:45.
I'll be tuning in for that.
Good for the state.
Good for Katie.
Without having a calendar, sounds great.
Very well. Any other business we can conduct?
I mean,
Oh,
to be fair, it's not like you got anything else going on, Nick. Like, it's not like you had a trial in the way. Maybe your local's boot camp.
Oh,
apologies. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I have requested to see two of my clients that have been forbidden from doing so. I'd like to see them before their arraignment.
Oh, my clients.
I'm not understanding your request. Can you repeat it?
As two of my clients are set for arraignment today, I have requested to see them. They have both requested to speak to their attorney, who is me, and they have been prevented from doing so up to this point. I was wondering if we could get an order to allow me to at least speak to my clients before they come into their first appearance.
Gornahachi?
Your Honor, I'm not sure if the court is aware, April Multi has been released.
Oh, Nick didn't know that.
And then I believe the other person who's referring to is his wife, Kayla. Is it Rekieta? Rekieta. I'll leave it to the court's
Rekieta
discretion. They are charged as co-defendants. I believe she would have to waive any conflict, etc. But I don't take a position.
James Augustine's there.
And
Hi,
to be
Jim.
frank, I don't know if that's a waivable conflict at this point, given they are co-defendants. But there's no request from the state that obviously they are married, so there's no request that they be separated, true?
Correct.
Well, it's an issue of denying counsel to Ms. Rekieta, so I will grant the request and leave that as an issue for Judge Fisher. At least to get us through the arraignment this morning.
Thank you, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Jailer, are you able to make accommodations? Mr. Rekieta, how much time do you need?
Not long, just about 15 minutes, Your Honor.
Can the jail accommodate that?
That'd be up to the jail administrator, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I would have to talk with the jail administrator.
All right. If they have any difficulties with that, the jail administrator, since I'll be in these proceedings, should contact Chief Judge Beckman.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Since Ms. Rekieta is not available, at least for the next 15 minutes, do we want to take the next matter?
All right, so they go on to the next matter. We're going to get into April's as well. But first, my chat is making me hungry by talking about nachos. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much, Erica, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that. Zena's getting old. I don't know if she's going to catch it. I don't know. Hey, Zena. You ready? Zena. That was my bad. That was a bad throw. That was my bad. Ava will catch it. She's just a little puppy. Oh, and I broke my camera. All right, Ava. You ready? Ava didn't catch it either. We're not doing good here today. We're not doing great. Not a good start. Okay, so let's get over to April's.
Well, you could give your side of the story and testify, but you also know that you understand your rights here.
Themselves, so I will work to unmute.
Okay.
Count 2, CR.
Back it up a little bit.
General rules of practice prohibit any recording other than
Oh,
the
we didn't hear
official
that. Nope.
record
We didn't hear that.
of the judicial branch, which is recorded by a certified court reporter. I imagine that transcripts can be available. That's under General Rule of Practice 42 or 4.02, Subdivision 5 at Prin 5. I need to tell everyone that a violation of that rule would lead, could lead to contempt proceedings. We are on the record in
You might have to
34
delete the
CR
stream, guys.
24341, and Madam Clerk, if you can disable that the buzzing or bell noise each time someone joins us, the court would appreciate that. This is the state of Minnesota versus Nicholas Robert Rekieta. Am I saying that correctly? You told me before.
Lights right now.
Yes, sir, Rekieta.
I might have queued
I have
it
your
up
date of birth
wrong.
is December 16, 1981.
All right, here's April.
Quite get it.
Nope.
Oh, here we
Yeah.
All right,
Here's
sorry, I
Kayla.
queued it up at the wrong spot. My bad.
We'll do Kayla first. It's not recorded.
Hopefully, when they start speaking, hopefully you can hear it. I think I unmuted it.
All right, we are on the
You guys
record
hear?
in
Okay.
court file 34 CR 24 342. It's the state of Minnesota versus Kayla Christine Rekieta. You are Ms. Rekieta?
Yes.
All right. We've had some trouble hearing everyone this morning, so if you could get a little closer to the microphone and speak a little louder. Your appearance today is based on a complaint order for detention with 3 counts. I have your date of birth is March 9.
Yes, sir.
All right. The record should also reflect that Alex Kornahachi appears for the state of Minnesota. Ms. Rekieta, your current address.
They're just muting it for her address, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And you
hopefully
also
they'll
get your
hear
mail
this
there?
No, sir. We have a PO box.
All right. What is the PO box to ensure that you get your mail?
PO box 97.
And
Sorry.
Mr. Rekieta lives there as well. He's also a co-defendant with you,
Yes, sir.
and he would get his mail there as well.
Yes, sir.
Count one is second degree possession of 25 grams or more of cocaine or methamphetamine. This has been charged out as a felony, so the maximum sentence is 25 years.
That means it's a minimum of 25 grams. That means they had a lot of snow, guys.
Yeah,
they had a lot of weight.
That's exactly
A
what
lot
that
of
means.
weight. That 25 is the minimum. Oh my gosh. Snow patrol at the Rekieta house.
In prison and or a $500,000 fine. Offense date was May 23rd, 2024. Count two is possession of ammunition or a firearm by a user of a controlled substance in violation of Minnesota Statute 624.713 at subdivision 1. This is a gross misdemeanor, so the maximum sentence is 364 days and or a $3,000 fine. And then lastly, count three, neglect or endangerment of a child. Again, a gross misdemeanor, maximum sentence 364 days and or a $3,000 fine. First question is, do you understand what you've been charged with?
I understand, yes.
All right. And the maximum penalties associated with each offense or each count.
Yeah, but the big fine.
Yes, sir.
All right. When someone has been accused of an offense such as this, it's important that you understand your rights. Starting point is that you are presumed to be not guilty. You don't have to prove your innocence. Rather, the state has to prove your guilt, and they have to do so with evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. Two, you're entitled to counsel, legal counsel, and if you can't afford an attorney, the court would appoint one for you. Three, you're entitled to trial by jury if you so choose. If there's a trial, all members of the jury would have to agree that the state had met its burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt before you could be convicted. If there's a trial, you could give your side of the story if you wish, but you don't have to because you have a right to remain silent. Indeed, you don't have to prove anything, so you don't have to.
25 grams isn't much, but they have a minimum of 25 grams. So it could be 25 grams or 200 grams. The point is that's the bare minimum.
People keep saying that 25 grams isn't a lot. In my experience, that's a lot. Although it was for 3 people, so maybe not. I don't know. I was a heroin user, not a cocaine user. So who knows? I don't know.
They had, and they likely didn't have the bare minimum.
Where are the coke heads at in my chat? Let me know what you think. Is 25 grams a lot? There's got to be some coke heads in my chat. I just know it.
Had a lot more than 25 grams is likely what's been going on. So just that's where the a lot part comes in. Drugs, it's ranges of weight. So they're up in the second highest tier, which means it's going to be a big thing. So listen to what's being said, guys. Listen to what's being said.
Say anything. If you remain silent and don't testify, the judge and the prosecutor cannot make comments about that because it is your constitutional right, nor can the jury consider it. You have a right to confront, challenge, or cross-examine any witness who testifies against your interest. You have a right to call witnesses and the power of subpoena to force witnesses to come and testify on your behalf. You have a right to receive all of the state's evidence and information, including exculpatory information, before trial. And at the end of the day, if you think the judge or the jury made some mistakes, you have the right of appeal. Do you have any questions about those rights this morning?
No, I do not.
You have a right also to have me read the complaint to you. If you read it or you're able to read it, you can waive that right. Do you need for me to read it to you?
Not at this time, no.
Very well. Any objection to setting these hearings tracking your husband's case? Or would you want a separate hearing?
I think I would like this tracking, yes.
Very well. We will set those and track at the same time. You can change your mind if you'd like. So this is sometimes called a bail hearing, and you would come back for an arraignment. We combine those hearings for Mr. Rekieta. Do you want to do the same thing and then just set this for a contested omnibus? That's a yes?
Yes, please.
You're nodding, but you're yes?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Kornahachi, does the state have any release conditions?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. We would
Go ahead.
ask for the same conditions as Nicholas Rekieta, $50,000 unconditional, and the alternative RPR with standard conditions. If the court would like, I can repeat the conditions I had asked for.
You're going to have to. I threw it away. So
No problem. So that would be no use of controlled substances or alcohol, random testing, no use or possession of firearms, contact probation as directed, don't leave the state without permission, remain law-abiding, and other standard conditions.
Ms. Rekieta, any objection?
No.
Very well. Court will order unconditionally amount of $50,000 cash or bond. Conditionally, you'll be released in your own personal recognizance. But in all instances, you have to remain law-abiding and show up for your court appearances, and we'll give you that date shortly. It'll also be noted on this release order. You are to abstain from the use of alcohol or any mood-altering chemicals not prescribed by your physician. That will be subject to random testing, so I'll have you report to probation, sign their agreement, and cooperate fully, which means keeping in contact with the pretrial probation agent. You are not to possess any firearms, ammunition, or dangerous weapons, and don't leave the state of Minnesota without prior approval of the court. Any questions about any of that?
No, sir. Understood.
Madam Clerk?
Your Honor, that is August 20th at 2:45.
All right, so hers is going to be before his.
All right.
August 20th.
And that's all from the,
I think they said August 25th for his, August 20th for hers. Happy birthday to me, huh? To hopefully it's live streamed, or hopefully somebody's live streaming it, gets the credentials again.
all right, is that all from the Candidac County Jail?
That's all we have, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Candidac County Jail signing off.
Okay.
All right, so that's it. That's the story. So those release conditions seemed pretty normal. All my jailbirds out there, let me know. That seems pretty normal for release conditions on drug charges. Yeah, I think so. Don't do drugs, don't leave the state, all of the things that they listed. They kept both of their bails at $50,000. That happened Friday morning. They were out. I saw on Twitter later that evening, Nick had posted something to his locals page, I guess it was. It was just something about what I saw anyway, was just he had posted something that said, I've been busy today. What's been going on? As if everybody wasn't watching this go down. And you could see when we were just watching his arraignment, he knew people were watching. You could see by the look on his face when people were chiming in with the kill yourself stuff, and or at one point people were dropping N-bombs, stuff like that. This stream that we were watching, by the way, this was potentially criminal where I found this. Go subscribe to them. I actually just subscribed to them right now. Good stuff. I like that they didn't just chit chat through the whole thing like I tend to do, and like other channels where I found this tend to do. All right, moving along. Next news story. I think this is the last one on Nick Rekieta. But to the new people that are here, I have other stuff lined up for today as well. So stick around, you might enjoy it. We have a very nice chat. Get in there. Say hi. Popular YouTuber who specializes in legal issues has reportedly been arrested. U.S. lawyer Nick Rekieta is facing 25 years in prison after being arrested on Thursday alongside his wife Kayla, and another fellow internet personality. Prosecutors filed charges against the Minnesota couple on Friday for second-degree drug possession, child endangerment, and a gross misdemeanor firearm charge. According to the arrest documents, police attempted to execute a warrant. Here's where how did they get a warrant? Just on somebody's word? Can you just call the police and say, hey, I think they have drugs in there, and they'll issue a warrant? Is that how it works? I'm not sure, but that seems weird to me, unless they were already looking at them. You know what I'm saying? Unless they were already had Nick Rekieta in their sights and then got a tip or somebody called on top of it. That could have happened too, you know. This one says they were greeted by a little girl at the front door, so it's probably one of their kids. They were greeted by a little girl at the front door who would not let them inside. After Rekieta refused to provide the door code, police used a battering ram. I'm picturing this go down. I'm picturing the police breaking into this guy's house with a battering ram. I kind of wish, I hope he releases the Ring camera footage of that. Is that bad? Just for my own viewing pleasure, by the way. I'd love to see it. I doubt he will, right? I doubt it, but it'd be nice. After searching the master bedroom and bathroom, authorities allegedly found a variety of drug paraphernalia, including 3 small bags that tested positive for cocaine. 8 green tablets tested positive for ketamine and a digital scale. We talked about that earlier. The other items tested positive for cocaine. So he's weighing cocaine in his bedroom and bedroom closet. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good idea to me, but I have not used any drugs since 2001. So maybe things have changed. Maybe now it's a good idea. Police found a gun with several magazines and loose ammunition. This is the part that gets me. The spent shell casing on the floor. What are we doing, Nick? What are we doing? Rekieta and his wife were taken into custody, and he told authorities that he and his wife slept in the master bedroom, where the police claimed to find the most drug paraphernalia. I wonder why that, or if that's why April got out before them. Could be because Nick and Kayla are going to take responsibility for this, and she just happened to be another adult in the home. I'm not sure. According to her husband, she was using cocaine as well. Before the arrest, some of the YouTubers' fans raised concerns about his health earlier in the week after a clip of him appearing to doze off during a live stream was circulated. Police noted that Rekieta had several injuries to his arms when he was arrested, describing them as sores commonly associated with drug users. It goes into his, channel stats and stuff like that. So this is a tweet from May 24th that Rekieta Law tweeted. So, hey, obviously a lot has happened. I'm sorry. For legal purposes, it must be reiterated that the sorry is for the disruption and in no way related to any pending legal matters. That said, please realize that no one has the full story or picture on anything. It's possible no one ever will. Come on, release the Ring camera, Nick. Please? I know you have a Ring camera. I just know it. Nothing reported is accurate, and that's not their fault. I've seen so many supportive messages. Thank you for that. I'll still be doing stuff. I'm home now. Stay tuned for the show announcements and stuff here on Locals. All right. So that was his statement after he got released on Friday. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Let's look back at the chat, see what's going on over there. I had heard of Rekieta. Like I said, I watched him a little bit during Rittenhouse, but not really since then. But I knew he was like a big deal, like a big, had a larger channel, obviously. One of the things that I found interesting is on that Steel Toe morning show, Adam was saying that he had called April's parents and told them, you got to get April out of that house the day before the bust happened, which was curious to me, the timing of that. He did say he was not the one that called the police. Obviously, he said that, like I said, a lot. He said it a lot. He didn't call the police. He said it, and he said it again, and he said it again. And then on his next stream, he said it more. But the fact that he's calling his soon-to-be ex-wife's parents saying, you got to get her out of that house, and then the next day, 24 hours later, the house gets raided is a little suspicious to me. I'm just speculating. All right, moving along. I want to go into the, you know what? We're skipping ahead. I want to go into this epidemic we apparently have. Epidemic of male workers, not male as in boy workers, but like mailmen, pepper spraying dogs. Have you seen this? I went down a rabbit hole recently and I'm pissed. Let's move along into that. Goodbye to everybody who was here just for Nick Rekieta. I understand. I get it. If you stick around, you might enjoy it, but we're moving along now. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Tonight, an Anderson woman claims a mailman pepper sprayed her dog.
This pissed me off so much, by the way. There was steam coming out of my ears. This dog was behind a freaking door
3 times, and he accessed the animal through her mail slot.
Our Chase Howell talked with that woman who says her 2-month-old child was sitting just feet away from where that spray came inside the home.
That's right, and she says when her husband went to go tell the postmaster at this Anderson post office what happened, she claims he said, well, the pepper spray isn't that strong. Video from a Ring doorbell shows this Anderson mailman approaching the front door to Kerrigan Cronk's home. In the video, you can hear her 1-year-old Dalmatian, Palmer, barking inside the house. That's when she says the postal worker reached in his bag, pulled out pepper spray, and began spraying it through her mail slot, hitting her dog in the face, staining her walls, and possibly putting her 2-month-old baby in danger.
Well, when I was cleaning it up, it burned. I was coughing. It wasn't pleasant at all, and I was really nervous about tracking it onto my son.
I did ask to speak to the postmaster, but instead they sent me to their PR person. I'll have that response ahead at 6. Reporting in Anderson, Chase Howell, 13.
Thanks, Chase. I appreciate the report. Did you see the amount of pepper spray on this lady's wall? Imagine coming home from work and having to clean up pepper spray on your stinking wall. Like, did this guy not know that it stains? Like, has he never pepper sprayed anybody before? It stains, dude. And he sprayed it inside their house. He didn't even know if anybody was home, really. He didn't know if anybody was there. He could have been spraying it directly into that baby's cradle for all he knew. So this is the rabbit hole that I went down. I saw this story. It's a newer story. It was posted 12 days ago. So I saw it in a short form, and I said, I need the whole story. I don't like to show shorts on my stream, and I want to show this story on my stream because, because obviously I'm a dog person, right? Ava, say hi. Okay, Ava, there's Ava. There's Xena. I'm a dog person. My dog, Xena's my dog. Ava's my husband's dog. Xena looks like a mean pit bull, right? She's not a mean pit bull. She's a Staffordshire Terrier, right? But she's not mean. She's the sweetest dog you ever met in your life. So it angered me that somebody sprayed a dog just because it's a dog, just because they look mean. And this was a Dalmatian, for goodness sake. So anyway, I type into Google or to YouTube or whatever to try to find this story. And so many stories about mailmen and women pepper spraying dogs came up. I picked out a few of them. There's like hundreds of them. If you type that into Google, there are hundreds of them from around the country. And it angers me. It's not like these dogs were attacking these people. It's not as if they were in any danger at all. For goodness sake, this one was behind a door, an exterior door. This dog was not coming through the door to do anything to that male guy. He needs to be in jail. Here's another one. I have about 5 of them.
Video's hard to watch. It shows a mail carrier pepper spraying a dog in the front yard of an LA home. She claims Coco tried to jump the fence and bite her bag, but Coco's owner says the woman's actions were unprovoked. Coco is doing better, but has to wear a cone to help with the irritation from the pepper spray. In a statement, the United States...
Did you see that? That dog was not jumping up. That dog wasn't even barking. That dog was doing nothing to this one. We'll watch it again. Coco didn't even jump up on the fence. If you come up to my fence and Zena's outside, she will put her paws up on the fence because she wants to say hi to you. She wants you to pet her. She wants you to scritch her ears and boop her snoot is what she wants. This dog was not even doing that. Was not even. Oh, good. Yeah, let's watch
a cone to help with the irritation from the pepper spray. In a statement, the United States Postal Service apologized for the incident and says action will be taken.
That dog was not jumping.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
The dog was not jumping. That dog was not jumping. Here's one out of San Diego.
A postal worker is charged with animal cruelty, accused of using pepper spray on a family's dog.
The incident was caught on surveillance camera, and tonight we're hearing from the dog's owner, who says his pet did nothing.
If this is not this image of this dog trying to get the pepper spray off of its face on cement is not breaking your heart, I don't know what's wrong with you right now.
To provoke the attack. News 8's Amanda Shotsky is live in Chula Vista with more.
That's a little fluffy dog, which honestly is, this dog is probably meaner than Xena is, but that's a little white fluffy dog. What are we doing pepper spraying a little white fluffy dog?
Amanda?
Hearing this story, you might think that the mailman was protecting himself from a vicious dog when surveillance video shows a little pup behind a locked gate minding its own business when it was pepper sprayed not once, but several times. For Alfonso Galindo, his rescue dog Pupa is more than just a pet. She's part of the family.
We've raised her with our children.
So when the 7-year-old poodle mix started acting strange earlier this year, the family became concerned. When Alfonso also noticed odd stains inside the gate at their Otay Mesa home, he decided to check the security cameras.
As soon as the mailman passed by, the dog starts withering and, inside the patio, like, whoa, what was that?
You can see the postman walk up to the gate. Shortly after, Pupa is nearly rolling on the ground. A closer look revealed she had been pepper sprayed.
It was so obvious in the videos. And I mean, it broke my heart. And knowing that it had been happening for so long, and it was just like, oh my God, like they're attacking the dog, like on a regular basis.
The cameras showed it happening at least 9 times within a month. And Alfonso says,
imagine being pepper sprayed 9 times in a month. And can we all agree Pupa is an adorable name for that dog?
It didn't just affect the dog. His 2 young kids became ill after playing with Pupa.
We had been to the emergency rooms and to urgent cares.
After reporting it to the U.S. Postal Service and police, an investigation was launched, resulting in the arrest of Nestor Eduardo Medina, who's facing charges of animal cruelty.
I don't think to this day this person even knows the extent of damage that he's caused.
Alfonso says his family is on the mend, but still learning to trust those who work in their community.
I'm still trusting in the system that justice is served.
And the U.S. Postal Service has said it does not condone the behavior displayed by Medina. Medina is facing 3 charges right now. A readiness hearing is scheduled for next Friday. Back to you.
Wow.
When I heard that 9 times, all I could get, all just popped in my head was the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off going 9 times. 9 times. I should have queued that up, but I didn't. So I'll just tell you what I thought. Here's another one out of Houston. All around the country. Protect your dogs, people. Protect your dogs from these evil mailmen.
Crime caught on camera. A mailman in Houston pepper spraying small dogs.
Here's another one with like little small fluffy
Mailman
dogs.
claims he saw the dog's teeth and started spraying even though the dogs were on the other side of the fence. Now that man is facing animal abuse charges.
Straight to jail. Straight to jail with all of them.
If you have done something, there's no more hiding. Home surveillance cameras, they are catching everything these days, even things you would never imagine. Matt Howerton shows us a mail carrier who learned the hard way.
Come on, Rocky, let's go. Echo, Con, and Rocky. You can see all three pushing their noses through this fence at Giovanni Baena's East Dallas home. And even though they bark, this 6-foot-tall reinforced fence is here so they don't bite.
They're not gonna get out. There's no way they can get out of here.
Which makes this video all the more disturbing.
This time they were barking a little bit more aggressively and it didn't just stop.
Last month, a postal worker dropped off some mail at Baena's home. But as he's walking away, Baena's surveillance camera catches him shaking up a can of mace and spraying his dogs for seemingly no reason.
He didn't have to even walk past that way. He could have walked back past that car, back out to the sidewalk, and not even past the dogs.
And I kind of caught a little whiff.
Baena checked his video.
So I knew, like, hey, that's pepper spray. And I saw it here and on the splatter on the wood.
After he found his dogs disoriented.
There's no reason for them to come by and just spray the dogs.
Needless to say, he was appalled.
Very upsetting.
And it appears the Postal Service agrees. They sent WFAA a statement saying local management was made aware of this video shortly after the customer brought it to their attention, and it has been addressed with the letter carrier. This is clearly unacceptable behavior and does not reflect the efforts of the thousands of professional, dedicated letter carriers in our workforce. We sincerely apologize to the customer.
But the question you're probably asking yourself right now, is this letter carrier still on the job? When we followed up with the Postal Service, they said this.
The Postal Service does not discuss specific employee disciplinary actions or comment on personnel actions or matters that may impact personal privacy. That reply didn't sit well with Baena.
Because I don't want that guy here again. I don't want him doing my route.
As for his video, it's a nice reminder. You never know who's watching. Matt Howerton, Channel 8 News.
I want you guys, my regulars that are here who know who Mr. Zed is. He's been on the stream before. If this happened to either one of these dogs, if my husband saw this happen to either Xena, who's snoozing right now, if you want to wake her up, you can super chat. I'll wake her up for that. Or the terrorist Ava. What do you think would happen to that mailman if this happened to either one of these dogs right here? What would happen? I know what I think would happen. I think I have one more. And then I have some other stories to cover. I have other ones.
Mail carrier. Tonight, though, Virginia Beach police are investigating a bizarre case of animal cruelty. They say a mail carrier pepper sprayed a dog on Friday at the oceanfront on 23rd Street for no apparent reason. Today's Side's Jason Marks has been following this story all evening. So, Jason, what is the latest?
Well, Alvita, we talked with the dog's owner. He tells us she is just a big teddy bear. He admits that she barks at the mailman from time to time, but he believes she would never bite.
Come on, go get your ball. Go get your ball.
It might be a bit cliche when it comes to mailmen and the family dog.
Well, I'm getting bit all the time.
That type of cliche.
Give me a high five. Up here.
But in Virginia Beach,
no, not gonna happen.
Animal Control says one letter carrier took the rivalry too far.
She's just a big baby.
In Lexi, the Rottweiler is just a puppy.
This is her favorite spot out here.
Okay, Lexi is adorable. I included this one because Lexi is my kind of dog. Lexi is the type of dog that we would adopt or we would have here for sure. Look at that face. I just want to squeeze her cheeks.
Owner Mike Clemens says the other day she was in that spot when the mailman came by the house on 23rd Street.
I heard a yelp. There was no barking or anything. The first thing I heard was a yelp. I come out the front door and she's gasping for breath running in the front door. I can smell the pepper spray. I see him putting his pepper spray up and I'm like, you maced my dog. I'm like, why'd you mace my dog? She's enclosed on the porch. She can't get to you.
Clemens said the mailman was speechless.
Good girl.
That's when he decided to call animal control. And officers decided the spray should have never come out of its holster, calling the spraying unjustified.
Completely saturated the whole porch. Not even like a quick spray. And what was so crazy about it was all low. Like he didn't shoot high like she was jumping.
Clemens said he tried to prevent something like this from happening. He even moved his mailbox to the outside of his porch.
He said he's been bit before, so I told him, if you're scared, I don't need my mail. It's not that important.
Officers arrested 55-year-old June Alizas and charged him with animal.
Good. Arrested. Charged him with animal cruelty. That's what needs to happen.
Animal cruelty. Lexi has no physical effects from the pepper spray.
Give him some good footage.
Back to being a puppy.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
But Clemens fears the mental ones might linger.
Still, now she doesn't like the mailman, which is a problem for me.
We did stop by the mailman's home. He wasn't there at the time, but we talked with his family. They tell me that he's a dog lover. He must have felt threatened. He even has a dog of his own.
I call BS on that because Lexi didn't even bark, as you heard.
Live in the newsroom, Jason
the guy
Marks.
was home. He said Lexi did not even bark and the pepper spray was low. So Lexi was not even jumping up. So his family was covering for him, in my opinion, allegedly. All of that shit. All right, what do I have queued up next? I'm not even sure. In case you guys are wondering, this show, Crimeland, that you're watching right now, people send me news stories. I gather some myself. The first two things that we talked about, I gathered myself. The rest of this show is just stuff that people sent me that I've never seen before. So we're going to go through it and see what you guys think I would be interested in. Shots fired. Man injures police in upper-class Westchester, New York area. I think Major Victory sent me this. Law enforcement in Westchester County has had their hands full over the last couple of weeks as a number of different incidents have required police presence. This latest incident that is catching headlines everywhere occurred in the area of Armonk, a hamlet in Westchester County. What the heck is a hamlet? What is the difference between a town or a hamlet? Let me know in the chat if you know. According to various reports, as well as the press release from the North Castle Police Department, this latest event occurred on Monday, May 20th, 2024. In the release, it states that a call went out to law enforcement shortly before 12:30 p.m. The call coming from an elderly 78-year-old resident in distress. Law enforcement, as well as medical personnel from Armonk Ambulance and WEMS paramedics, arrived on the scene shortly after receiving the call. Medical personnel would provide and treat the elderly woman's medical needs before transporting her to a local hospital. Specific information on what exactly the victim was treated for was not mentioned in the press release. While on the scene, law enforcement became aware of the cause of the elderly woman's call. The cause was a 38-year-old male at a residence, and the officers on the scene were aware that this particular individual had 2 outstanding warrants for his arrest. In reference to both the elderly victim and the male suspect, no other identifying information has been released at this time. It, however, was stated that the incident unfolded at the address of 14 Halleck Place in Armonk. The entire incident has rocked the community, as the area in Armonk is considered to be upper class with a very little crime. Both police officers on the scene did their best in efforts to arrest and bring the suspect into custody. However, in the efforts, conflict ensued. A violent altercation broke out amongst the officers and the suspect, during which the suspect came in possession of a knife and used it to attack one of the officers. Dude literally brought a knife to a gunfight. The second officer in the encounter would then pull out his firearm, his on-duty pistol, and fired 2 shots. Both shots, the officer struck the suspect, after which officers were able to gain control of the situation. Following the altercation, both police officers as well as the suspect were taken by medical personnel to a local hospital. I assume they left the word out, to be treated for their wounds and injuries. As of the time of the press release, the injuries to both the officers are considered non-life-threatening. In addition, the injuries to the suspect is also considered non-life-threatening. If you shot a dude twice and you don't have they're doing it wrong, is what I'm trying to say. They're doing it wrong. We already watched that story. Excuse me. I didn't get to the mute button. I know this is going to be good just from the website it's coming from. I just know it. I am from Chicago. I know what happens there. I no longer live in Chicago because I'm sane. 1 day of probation for Lyft driver accused of firing shots during struggle with no paying customer inside the South Loop Theater. A Lyft driver accused of firing several shots inside a crowded South Loop movie theater during a scuffle with a juvenile who failed to pay for a ride has been sentenced to 1 day of probation. What are we doing here? He fired a gun at a juvenile who didn't pay. If it's a Lyft, I don't use Uber or Lyft that often, right? But when I have used Uber or Lyft, how can you not pay? Like, it's in the app. Your information is in the app. Your credit card information and stuff. So I'm wondering if they did a deal. I know I heard recently that a lot of times the Uber driver will pull up and try to like cut Uber out, or Lyft or whoever it is, cut them out of the equation and say, just cancel the ride and I'll get you there cheaper if you just pay me cash or something like that. So I'm wondering if this guy tried to make an arrangement like that with this kid, because otherwise I just don't understand how you could not pay. Let me know if you know. Oh, I'm supposed to pronounce this name? That's cute. Mbengi. I'm going with Mbengi. Mbengi picked up the juvenile boy and 2 females earlier last April and agreed to take them to the showplace Icon Theater at 1011 South Delano Court for a price, prosecutor said. So it sounds like that is what happened. He didn't book it through Lyft. But when the car arrived at the South Loop Cinema, the 3 passengers bolted inside without paying. Mbembe chased after them and got into a physical struggle with the boy at the top of an escalator. Prosecutors claimed during the fight, a gun fell from the boy's pocket. Mbengi, who won a struggle to control the weapon and allegedly fired several rounds into the floor. Security officers detained Mbengi and the juvenile until police arrived. Prosecutors said that the officers who responded to an active shooter alert found several shell casings at the scene and 3 or 4 holes in the theater wall. Police secured a loaded 9mm handgun equipped with an extended ammunition magazine. In Chicago, that's probably just like a 15 round at a Glock or something like that, which is just a normal magazine. Maybe it was a 30 round, who knows. I have a 30 round magazine for my Glock. I've used it once at the range because it's not ideal. It's too heavy. If it's loaded all the way up with 30 rounds, it's too heavy. and it's not comfortable to carry or shoot. So really 10 or 15 round magazines, the best in my opinion, but I am a weak girl and have weak girl arms, so I don't know. Officers said about 700 people were in the building at the time, and much of the incident was captured on video. Why am I reading this and not watching the video then? Prosecutors have charged Mbengi with reckless discharge of a firearm and 3 gun possession charges, all felonies, but eventually agreed to let him plead guilty to a misdemeanor reckless conduct in exchange for the 1-day penalty. I think I'm okay with this. It wasn't his gun. It was the kid's gun, right? And he just picked it up and fired it. I think I'm okay with it. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know if you're okay with this 1-day sentence for this guy. It seems like why are you running after the guy? But also it sounds like it wasn't his gun. It was the kid's gun who he was in an altercation with. Once you're in the altercation, it's too late to woulda, shoulda, coulda. You're in the altercation now, and a gun drops down. I'm going to try to get possession of that gun. And maybe he was just firing it to unload it because he didn't know how to work the gun to just take the magazine out. I don't know. Cold case cracked. Suspect charged 28 years after West Valley mother's murder. I don't remember who sent me this one, but we're going to find out what happened here. And let me do this. And while this is playing, I am going to be right back. So just hang out here with Zena. I'm going to go refill my water. I have 2.5 minutes.
Answers in a horrific crime that's been a mystery in West Valley for nearly
All right, Zena, you're in charge. Wake up.
30 years.
A mom of 2 kids murdered and left on the side of the road with no sign of who did it. News specialist Lauren Steinbrecher is live to explain a break in the case and why it took so many years to discover a key piece of evidence.
Deanie and Mike, it was nearly 3 decades ago now that Lisa Redmond left the Pizza Hut here on 56 West in West Valley City to make a delivery. Her body was then discovered just around the corner in the road. And now the suspect that we're learning about today, police believe may be tied to other murders of women.
Lisa Redmond lost her life.
The story is about Lisa Redmond from years ago.
Those who knew and loved Lisa Redmond mourn her death.
Show a beloved mom of 2 killed while working to support her children.
The children in our school have lost a friend.
Bringing up stories of heartache, friends wondering who killed her and why.
It sends a terror, a chill through the community.
Until Thursday.
The detectives have worked long and diligently.
The Salt Lake County DA's office, with the help of the West Valley Police Department, filed 1 count of murder.
The suspect, Donald Eugene Young. They don't think he knew Lisa, but they know him.
He is currently at the Utah State Prison on sexual assault convictions to a jury that's also started in 1996.
And he's a suspect in a 1999 murder of a University of Utah student, plus the murders of 3 other women in St. Louis. Unfortunately, Gill says those last 2 cases were dismissed. But in 2019, Sims says a West Valley City detective decided to test a blood sample in Lisa's case not tested before.
They just assumed it was her blood. But we said, no, let's test everything, every little speck that's there. And that's how that profile hit was identified.
Knowing Young was already in prison, they spent another 5 years putting the case together.
We wanted to make sure that there were no errors from our perspective.
Now, 28 years later, the story of Lisa Redmond is turning into one of closure and justice.
Justice is delayed, but justice is not forgotten.
Yeah, so Young was already serving a very lengthy prison sentence for that 1996 assault. He now has the charges of first-degree murder, first-degree aggravated kidnapping, and first-degree aggravated robbery against Lisa Redmond. Guys.
Nice to see this finality to this case. Lauren, thanks.
That was great. I like to see it. Even when, justice takes a while, I like to see it happen. It's got to be a relief for the families. You know what I mean? Thank you very much for the $2 super chat, Erica. I appreciate it. And we will wake Xena up for that. Hey, Xena. Erica bought you some milk bones. She's so tired, though. You want this? Here you go. Ava left. I don't know where she is. I have one for Ava when she gets back. Oh, here she is. Get in your spot. Get in your spot. Here you go. Thank you, Erica. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And Ava definitely appreciates it. And Xena is apparently unaffected. So that's where we're at. That's a monster. An army soldier allegedly beat an infant to death days after an order in heated custody battle. Oh, somebody put this in the Crimeland link instead of the SVU link because this is going to be tough. We're going to get through it, though. We're going to get through it. Actually, we're not. We're going to put this one in the SVU link. I just can't. That one too. We're going to put those in SVU and we're going to do a whole show where I can do like a trigger warning that there's kids involved and we'll do it that way. I don't want to, 4 arrested in California believed to be part of a burglary tourism ring. Ooh, look at these guys. He did not want to look at the camera. And it does. He looks like he's got white stuff on his nose like Nick Rekieta. All right. This is in Los Angeles. Glendale police arrested a group of Colombian nationals this week who are suspected of being part of a South American burglary tourism ring operated in Los Angeles County. The 4 men were pulled over during a traffic stop Monday evening in the Emerald Isle neighborhood shortly after 10:30 p.m. The Glendale Police Department announced in a news release. The men were driving out of a cul-de-sac with their car's headlights off when officers stopped them and searched their vehicle. Police said the officers found a video surveillance device with a portable battery charging pack camouflaged with leaves in a Whole Foods bag. They also found a planter on the street with detectives believed where the surveillance device was located. What is going on here? Sorry, I'm having trouble following this story. By placing the device near home, apparently the next paragraph is going to tell me. By placing the device near a home and retrieving it later, the suspects could, in theory, learn the schedule of a particular person, like when they leave their home, according to police. Also inside the suspect's car, officers found several jewelry boxes along with a construction hard hat, a vest that could be used to get near a home without drawing attention, police said. The 4 men were identified as Brian Martinez Vargas, Jose Antonio Velasquez, Edison Early Pinzon Ferrandino, Luis Carlos Marino. According to the police, the men were arrested and accused of conspiracy to commit burglary. This was not the first time police had encountered Martinez Vargas. On April 30th, police officers with the burglary task force responded to a residential burglary call in Crescentia Highlands neighborhood. I'm not from California. I don't know these places. During the call, police were involved in a high-speed pursuit with the suspects, who eventually drove their car off the shoulder of a freeway exit, according to camera footage from a police vehicle involved in the pursuit. During the pursuit, the suspects in the car tried to get rid of the stolen items, a device used to interrupt Wi-Fi signals used in home security systems, according to police. Martinez Vargas and 45-year-old William Guanim were in the car and taken into custody. It's unclear what charges the men faced over the incident. Police say Martinez Vargas and others suspected in the Glendale heist are believed to be part of a burglary tourism ring. Glendale Police Chief Manny Sid called the situation frustrating in a statement, considering that Martinez Vargas had been arrested just weeks after his previous arrest. Glendale is not unique in being targeted by a group of foreign nationals believed to have entered the U.S. under the guise of tourists, but who instead are burglaring high-end residential neighborhoods. So they're just here to steal from us, I guess, is the gist of this article. Also, have you guys heard of this, like setting up surveillance and planters and stuff like that? I had never, this is the first time, that's why I was so confused when I started reading it. That's the first time I've heard of this. And I'm wondering to myself as I was reading this, would I notice if a new planter, like, you know, with cameras was set up somewhere in my area, would I notice that? I don't know if I would. I'm not sure that I would even notice, honestly. Would you guys notice? Are you good at paying attention to your surroundings? I should be better at it. You would think Mr. Zed would have trained me by now to be conscious of my surroundings, but I know that I wouldn't notice it because I was just at a party last night where my neighbor across the street was also there, and she asked about some new plants that she had put in and what I thought of them. And apparently they had been put in for like 2 weeks and I didn't even notice them. I said, I'm sorry, person's name. I didn't notice your new, I don't even remember what kind of plants they were, but apparently it's a big feature in her yard now that I have to drive past her house. Like I have to drive past the front of her house to get to my driveway twice a day, on the way out, on the way in. Never even noticed it. So I'm thinking if she had a new planter set up in her front yard that had surveillance pointed at my house, I wouldn't even notice. Pretty sure. All right. Las Vegas. I think it's getting time to wrap up the stream when I can't say the words Las and Vegas next to each other. I have a few more stories for you. Just a few more. And then we'll get out of here. Las Vegas man accused of killing neighbor after he exposed himself in front of kids to be released. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about.
His neighbor is headed out. The man accused of killing his neighbor is headed out of jail and into a neighborhood on edge. Thanks for staying with us here at 6:30. I'm Heather Mills.
And I'm Denise Valdez. So police say 32-year-old.
I hate my computer so much. My CPU, it's not saying that I'm using too much.
Eddie Moreno shot his neighbor, who was allegedly exposing themselves with kids present. But as 8 News Now reporter Ryan Matthews shows us, neighbors say they're concerned about a lot more than that.
No guns, period. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because if you happen to have one and they find out about it, your bail will be revoked. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Eddie Moreno agreeing to the conditions of his release. Not even 72 hours after being placed in custody, accused of killing his neighbor. Police say 47-year-old Joe Moreno was the victim. Same last name, but no relation, besides a property line. Eddie told police that's where he fired his gun after Joe exposed his genitals with children present.
He's in our corner always. We're going to be in his corner now that he needs us there.
These men call Eddie family and say they helped pay part of his $100,000 bail to get him out. The judge also ordered him to stay away from who does still live next door and to not possess firearms on his property.
I defend him because he's a family man, and I know he would do anything to protect his family, just like all of us would.
He's headed back to this neighborhood with neighbors saying they're still on edge, claiming Monday's interaction was not the first act of aggression they've witnessed.
I need to pause it for a couple of reasons. First of all, what a great neighborhood. Did you see his neighbors all rallying behind him? He found a dude exposing himself to kids and he took care of it. He just took care of it right there. And then his neighbors rally behind him and get him out of jail. Amazing, amazing story. But also, this newscaster's voice is the most annoying voice I've ever heard in my life. And I need to point it out to you because it's really annoying.
On edge, claiming Monday's interaction was not the first act of aggression they've witnessed.
We waited till his picture got released the next day and we were like, oh, that's him.
This family, who live on the same street as Eddie, asked to conceal their identities.
Calling her the B word, come on, I'll kick.
They say their neighbor has a history of confrontation. These photos shared after an alleged incident from weeks prior where Eddie was speeding in the neighborhood.
Michael yelled, slow down, and he just lost his.
Then reportedly stepping out of his car and verbally fighting those outside, scaring this woman to end the fight.
I don't know if he's going to try and do anything, especially because I maced him. If he really thinks he's the king of the neighborhood and this is his neighborhood, what else is he going to do if he can get out from murder?
The wife and attorney for Eddie declined to comment. Ryan Matthew, 8 News Now.
As of right now, Moreno is awaiting his release from jail. Only 15% of the total bail amount is needed, so friends say they collectively gathered the needed $15,000.
Wow. I like that story a lot. Tell me what you guys think in the chat. Let me know what you think. Do you have neighbors that would rally around you like that? I think I do. I'm pretty sure I do. I hung out with all my neighbors last night, actually. So I think if either Mr. Zed or I did something like that, our neighbors would rally around us, especially if it was protecting kids, right? Especially if it was protecting kids. I don't know though. Like you don't know until it happens, right? Loader Wrench says he seems like a no BS kind of guy. He does. He saw an issue. He took care of it. If Steven's still in the chat or still listening, let me know if you want to come up to talk about one of the stories I have coming up is about this Daniel Perry pardon. And I know you covered that on your channel. And I want to know if you want to, let me know if you want to come. I'll put the link while this next story plays. I'll send you the link. If you want to come up, cool. If not, that's cool too.
An update now to a horrific.
Oh, I guess I should tell you what's going on. Washington mom pleads not guilty to death. Oh, not guilty to stabbing 4-year-old son to death. Oh, I know why I pulled this story. I saw the body cam footage of her being arrested, and it prompted me to figure out what was happening here. And this is the story, but I need to find that body cam footage and play that for you too.
And heartbreaking case. Today in Everett, Janet Garcia faced a judge and entered a not guilty plea in the murder of her own son, 4-year-old Ariel. According to court documents, Ariel's grandmother filed for emergency guardianship because his mother's drug and alcohol use had gotten so bad she couldn't be a stable parent. On March 27th, Ariel's grandmother arrived with papers to take custody, but it was too late. Court documents say the 4-year-old's body was found with 41 stab wounds and was dumped over a fence near JBLM. Garcia's bail was originally set at $5 million. Today in court, defense attorneys tried to get it reduced to $500,000. The judge agreed, saying that the bail was excessive and lowered it to $3 million.
Let me see if I can find that story for you. Well, I'll have 2 minutes and 23
But we're
seconds.
Start with some breaking news right now. Police have just confirmed this.
And I'll see if I can find that body cam footage of that lady getting arrested. It was off the rails. And then we'll talk about Daniel Perry.
new normal. This mom is adjusting to her new normal after losing her hands and legs because of all things a dog lick. Marie Traynor woke up from a 10-day coma to find her limbs had been amputated.
I cried. I cried the hardest I ever cried in my life.
The life-changing tragedy had its origins during a vacation in the Caribbean with her husband. Marie says she was using her key card to access her hotel when she accidentally nicked herself on her wrist. It was a tiny little scratch, a silly accident. It hardly hurt. When Marie came home, her dog Taylor greeted her with lots of kisses. But the dog also licked Marie's scratch. 4 days later, Marie got very sick and was rushed to the hospital with a severe infection and septic shock.
Her arms were turning black all the way up just below her shoulders.
It turns out that her dog's saliva carried a bacteria called Capnocytophaga. It's quite common in dogs, but what happened to Marie is a very rare occurrence.
It is a 1 in over a million. I mean, the chance is so rare. You would never think that a dog lick would cause someone to lose their hands and legs.
Orthopedic surgeon Dr. A.J. Seth at Altman Hospital in Canton, Ohio, says the choice was stark. Amputate or Marie would die.
I kind of wish that they would have let me go. Because I can't live like this. What am I going to do? How am I going to do everything? I can't do nothing for myself right now.
Her husband Matthew is doing his best to lift her spirits.
I love her to death. She's everything to me.
He never leaves her side, helping her with everything from brushing her teeth to styling her hair, which isn't easy because Marie is a beautician.
He's not a hairdresser.
Dr. Seth is working on building custom prosthetics for Marie so she can try to gain some independence.
Fit good?
Fits perfect.
She's staying positive with the help of her son and daughter.
How you feeling?
Good.
She's an inspiration. She's so strong.
You're probably wondering what happened to the dog.
Hi. How are you?
Well, despite losing her limbs to a dog lick, Marie says she'll never stop loving her German Shepherd, Taylor.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Same way. All right, I found that body cam footage of this lady getting arrested, which prompted me to pull that story about her that we just watched. So this is 17 minutes long. I'm going to play not all of it, but some of it. And we're going to see if Steven responds to the message that I sent him. He might be busy because it is Sunday. I'm not sure. But when I watched this body cam footage, this lady's story is so wacky. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I'm so glad that these officers followed through and figured out that her son was actually dead, because it, like, just watch her. See if we can go big screen.
Hey there.
Nope. I love my computer.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Nothing on you? No. Okay.
You guys give us some privacy. Hey, so.
Let's put in your bra. No. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can I just pick and make? You don't need to reach in. I'll just.
We're gonna skip around a little bit.
So, I.
You got some blood drops on your shoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my son fell this morning earlier. Oh no. Yeah. So, but I was able to take him to the doctors and everything was okay. I took him with another lady so she can watch him for me, because I wasn't staying at home. I had problems going on with my parents and they didn't let me in the house. So I was staying with another lady. She was super sweet. That's where my son fell. And then, but we left, so I was like, okay, you know. So I went to another lady's house and I told her if she could watch him for me. I wanted to come get, you know, I wanted to fully recover. I'm an alcoholic, so I was like, if you can watch him for me for 12 months, that'd be amazing, because I'm not talking to my mom, and she's the one that has just like a notarized paper saying that she has legal custody of them, but I have legal custody of them. She's not letting me see my older son, so. That would be really hard. Yeah, I'm a little bit upset about that one. So I'm here now and everything's okay. So I don't know what else. Well, we want to make sure that he's safe and know where he is. Who's the friend that you left him with?
Who drops their kid off somewhere for 12 months? By the way, that seems like a long time.
I left
For
him with
any
another
reason.
lady. I don't have her information.
Oh, well, that's not gonna cut it. We got to figure out where he's at. Where can you like tell me the location where somebody could go and check on him and make sure he's okay?
In like SeaTac area.
Okay.
Seattle.
More specific?
I don't
Do you
have an address.
Nothing. Who's the friend? How do you know the person that? How did you pick the person?
She's a
that
longtime friend that I know.
Okay, what's her name?
That's all I know.
Okay, and you've known
her or anything?
Okay, but you've known her for a long time. So how did you reach out to her?
So I reached out to her because I needed help.
How did you reach out to her?
I found her number on my old Facebook, but I no longer have a Facebook anymore. So.
Okay.
So something you signed back into? And...
No.
No. You just deleted it all.
I delete it all the time. So.
Yeah, you found it today on your old Facebook, and her name is. Okay, and she lives in the SeaTac area. So you drove him from the first house you were at to her house, or the doctor first? What doctor did you take him to?
Swedish, and that's it.
Swedish where?
Or I think it's Providence, actually. Providence in Everett.
In Everett? Providence?
Okay. You understand we just need to make sure that he's okay, and then...
Yeah.
We just do that, and then we can leave you be, you know?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
So how do we find...
I don't know.
Can you describe to me how you got there from Providence?
So I just drove from there to Seattle, and then that's it.
You drove from...
So she dropped her kid, like, just so we get this straight. She dropped her 4-year-old, almost 5-year-old kid. This is her story. We know this isn't the truth. She dropped her 4-year-old child off at a person's house that she's known for a long time. I've known her for a long time. I found her on Facebook. That's how I got in touch with her. But I've since deleted my Facebook account. And I don't know where she lives. And I don't have a phone number for her. This is this woman's story. And also the officer, if you notice at the beginning, walks up and says, "Hey, you got blood on your shoes there, lady."
Providence to Seattle.
To
house?
Yes.
Okay. Did you drive on the freeway or? Okay. How long did it take you to get there?
Like 2 hours.
2 hours. And what car were you driving?
My car. So just like 1 hour or so.
And what kind of car do you have?
I have a Nissan.
Okay. Where's that car now?
I don't have it with me.
Okay.
So.
Where's it at?
I left it at her house, and then I came over here on the bus.
Okay. You left it at SeaTac?
Okay, what, do you remember what exit you took?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
So just to clarify, you go from Everett to the hospital in Everett, you get him checked out, you drive to your friend in SeaTac, you leave the car there, you leave him there, and you take a bus from SeaTac down here. Okay. And that all happened today?
Yeah.
So
pretty expensive ticket. You get a C-Tran bus to come down here?
No, actually, it was only like $30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your first name again?
Jeanette.
Jeanette. Okay, Jeanette. You're not
lying.
You have a longtime friend that you reach out to leave your son with, who you obviously care about very much.
I love him with all my heart.
Yes, and you're expressing how upset you are about what's going on between you and your mom and the custody of him and your older son. Like, that's horrible. So I know that you're not going to go leave your son with somebody and you don't know where he is.
Yeah, no.
So you do know where he is?
No, I know where he is. I know where he's at.
Tell me where he's at.
I don't have the address for him.
Okay, can we find the address for him?
I don't know.
Did you put it in your phone?
No.
To get there? Okay. You know where your son is because you're a mom who loves her son very much and you didn't
I'm Jeanette.
I'm sorry, Jeanette.
Yeah.
You took him somewhere and you're going to go back to him and you know where he is. So tell me where he's at so we can make sure that he's okay or what's going on.
So he's not, I mean, he's there. He's
Okay,
her, but
tell
he's
me
not.
How is she saying all this stuff with a straight face? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So she's giving them no information. She doesn't even know what exit she got off the highway. None of that.
Check on him.
I can give you an address.
Okay, what's the address?
I don't know. You have to write it down.
Okay, I can do that.
And it's so convenient. She deleted her Facebook account so she got her information from Facebook, communicated with this lady on Facebook, and then deleted her account in between dropping her kid off for 12 months, according to her. Yeah. And then and right now, which is a couple hours later, by the way.
Do you have a phone number for her too?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't have a phone number for her, but
When he fell, where'd he get hurt?
just he on his head, but he fell on the ground and he hurt himself.
Heads are the worst, dude.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find. I
I'm
don't
gonna
even.
fast forward a little bit.
How old's your son?
He is 5.
And stuff. What did he do?
He jumped from the bed that we were sleeping on to the ground, and then he just got blood on his head, and so I had him taken to the doctor, and so he's doing good.
Okay. Okay. What did he hit it on?
Just on the ground.
Okay. How did it start bleeding?
It's just started bleeding.
Can you show me like what side of his head? Do you remember what side of his head it was?
I don't remember exactly what side of the head it was, but it's starting to rain a little bit.
Yeah. That's okay. So you don't. What time did it occur today?
Just like early, like at 10, 11.
10 or 11. Okay. Do you know what time it is now?
It's already 6:30, or about to be 7.
So how long were you guys at the hospital?
We were only there for a little bit. I don't even think he got checked. We got there, and but we didn't. I didn't wait enough for him to get checked out. So
he didn't actually go back and get checked. Gotcha. Did you actually go inside and check him in? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then did you tell him you were leaving, or did you did? Okay. You just said he's not going to be seen and left.
Yeah.
Okay. And how is he acting?
He's okay.
Yeah.
What happened to him when he fell?
Nothing. He just cried.
Just crying?
Mm-hmm.
Just
like, just like, yeah.
She's got no way to get in touch with this person.
Do you want to sit down? I can I can leave the door open. You can sit right there so you're out of the range.
So basically, that's the gist of it. She's found guilty of murdering her child, which is, a 4-year-old. And I was just about to go into Daniel Perry. Oh, here we go. I'm going to bring up my guest for the afternoon. Surprise guest, y'all. Welcome to the show, Iggy. Hello, Iggy. How are you? Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome to the show. Iggy Normus Jr. of
Give me a second.
Fame is on the line. And we're going to give him a second. But I wanted to bring him up because this is a story that he had covered on his channel before. This is...
Yo.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Hello?
Dang it.
Uh-oh. We can hear you. You cannot hear us. We'll see if we can get our act together. If not, I did figure out the echo situation. Thank you for letting me know about the echo. When I'm not having a guest up, I share the screen in a different way that echoes when a guest is here. So I appreciate you letting me know. While we're waiting for him, I'll play this little news story. It's 3 minutes long. Hopefully we can get him in to talk about it by the time this is done playing.
In Texas, convicted killer Daniel Perry is a free man this morning after Governor Greg Abbott grants a rare pardon. The Army sergeant was found guilty last year for the 2020 murder of a Black Lives Matter protester in Austin and was serving a 24.
Can you hear us now? Hello? I bet he can't hear us.
5-year sentence. News Nation's Stephanie Haynes joining us live from Dallas this morning. Good morning, Stephanie. So the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles giving...
Yo, can you hear us?
Yo, what's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. You sound like you're not at home. And he's gone again. Okay, so that's fun. That's this is a great stream. We'll get it together. I'll still plug his stuff though while he's trying to get back in here. The weekly Rumble on Rumble exclusive. Go check that channel out. It's him and Might Be Wrong and a couple other guys. Frank Mill Maga's over there. Check that out. Junior Normus on Twitter. Check him out there. And I don't know, a bunch of YouTube channels. Let's see if we can make it work. How about now?
Okay, how about now?
I can hear you.
I can hear you. What's up? Hey,
Hi.
sorry. I am a, how do you say it in PC terms? Retarded?
Yes. I mean, you are my tech guy, so this is worrisome for me.
Yes. Very good with tech. One less chromosome, you know.
So Dan Perry got pardoned. Did you hear
Yeah.
that? So I don't know how familiar you are with this. I mean, I know you covered on your channel, but you cover a lot of stuff on your channel. So
Yeah. My position on this one is I'm right wing, and I forgot about this case, so I'll default to just going.
You're breaking up, but I'm going to tell you guys what happened in this case. This is the case where there was protests going on. We'll see if he comes back. He dropped out again. Maybe not going to work out today. We'll see. But so there was protests going on in Austin, Texas, and it was like the height of the Black Lives Matter movement was happening. So he's an Uber driver and he's trying to get home and he drives down this street, probably just wherever his GPS was taking him, right? And he drives down this street and a crowd surrounds his car. Now, if a crowd surrounded my car, I don't know about you, but I'm going to do everything I can to get out of there. Now, this guy is such a good guy that he did not drive through the crowd. But a guy comes up to his window and pulls a gun on him. And he defended himself and ended up killing the guy that pulled the gun on him and was sentenced. The jury sentenced him for murder, and he was in jail until just a couple of days ago when the governor pardoned him, which is amazing. What do you think?
I mean, I wish I would have been there. You know what I mean? I wish I would have been like on the street during that time. It's in Austin, correct?
Yeah. I was going to say you were on the street. You were just not in Austin. You were in D.C.
Yeah.
Covering all of
I just wish I would have always seen it. I don't know if anyone heard my joke, but I'll do it again. I was like, I'm right wing, and I don't remember this case, so I'll default to my team. Yeah, I don't know much about the details. I have some conflicting points of view on the whole freedom of protest versus having guns down there versus like whose property is these streets. I don't really know who's in the right or the wrong or whatever. You kind of gave a good breakdown just now.
Have you not heard the chants? It's our streets. Whose streets? Our streets.
Right. Yeah. When they chant, it's gospel. Yeah. When there's a chant, when they say I can't breathe, I believe them.
Yeah. You know what, the other day, speaking of I can't breathe, the anniversary, I guess it was yesterday was the anniversary. Yep. I watched that whole video again, by the way, and my initial gut reaction to that video was correct. He was dying of a drug overdose. That's beside the point. We've lost him again, so I'll play some more of this news story. See if we get him back. Apparently, he's just taunting us again. Cool Clearwater. He's just taunting us. What's up with your internet, bro? Hello? I see you. I do not hear you. All right, I'm going to play some of this news story. We'll see if you can get your shit together.
Perry, a lot more than his freedom.
Yeah, Hannah, absolutely. Look, Perry is already waking up at home this morning. Totally a free man. He is out of custody. And not only that, As you said, the Board of Pardons and Paroles has voted to fully restore his gun rights. This was a unanimous vote by the board to recommend this pardon. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott immediately weighing in, saying, quote, Texas has one of the strongest stand your ground laws of self-defense that cannot be nullified by a jury or a progressive district attorney. So let's back up a little bit, Hannah. This is what happened back in 2020. Perry fatally shot Garrett Foster during this Black Lives Matter protest in downtown Austin. Investigators say Perry was driving an Uber. He drove through the crowd. The crowd then surrounded his car, and that is what sort of began that interaction with Foster. Both men were legally armed that night, and there are conflicting reports as to who raised their rifle. Perry shot.
We saw the video. The protester raised his gun first. I watched the video in detail over and over again when it happened. We can't hear you right now, Stephen, so I don't know what's happening. But just so you know, we can't hear you.
Killed Foster from inside his car and always claimed it was in self-defense. Foster never fired. So after the trial, a jury found Perry guilty. And then immediately after that verdict, Governor Greg Abbott publicly demanded that the parole board take up Perry's case. After the decision to pardon, which is about a year later after the fact, the Travis County District Attorney now responding in part, the board and the governor have put their politics over justice and made a mockery of our legal system. They should be ashamed of themselves. Now, one of the criticisms in this case is surrounding this story about the lead detective who says that he was told to withhold evidence when he was called to testify in front of the grand jury. So maybe that would have prevented Perry from being indicted in the first place. But that detective did end up testifying as a defense witness at trial in 2023. The board said that they did this meticulous review of all of the elements in this case. And Hannah, according to a former prosecutor and current defense attorney, as you said, getting the governor to sign off on a pardon is not common.
Of the ones that make it past the screening, make it past the board, actually get recommended for clemency and make it to the governor's office, less than 5% of those are ever actually granted by the governor.
We spoke with the attorney who represents the surviving fiance of Garrett Foster, who tells us she is obviously heartbroken, devastated, feels abandoned by the justice system. And we should also note that Foster served in the U.S. Air Force. Hannah.
A lot of development. Stephanie Haynes, live in Dallas. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate it. So Steven's gone again. So I guess, we'll do what we do here. I'm really happy that Governor Abbott pardoned this guy. I don't think he should have ever been to jail to begin with. He only shot once a weapon was pointed at him. We saw the video. It's all over the internet. Go find it. Watch it yourself. It reminded me very much of the Rittenhouse case, where Rittenhouse did not fire at what was the guy's name that lost his bicep? He disarmed that guy. But what was that guy's name? It reminded me very much of that, where Rittenhouse did not shoot that guy until he pointed a gauge something, right? It's driving me nuts. Driving me crazy that I can't remember that guy's name. But my point being is that his car, gross crates. Yes, that's correct. Gross crates. It reminded me very much of that, where he did not shoot until a gun was pointed at him, A. And B, his other option was to step on the gas and run over innocent, air quotes, people who were blocking the street. Innocent, using very loosely the term innocent here, right? But he could have floored it to get away from the guy with the gun, or he could have just taken out the threat. And that's what he did, is he took out the threat. So very happy to see that happen. Stephen, can we hear you now? We still can't hear you. Oh, that's might be wrong. Might be wrong. We can't hear you. What is happening? So maybe it's me? Why can't we hear might be wrong? Check your settings, bro. I bet he's got something to say about this. By the way, Might Be Wrong Instagram fame. Go check him out over there. He's also one of the hosts on the weekly Rumble exclusives over there. If you want to check out that show, it's Monday evenings at 8, I think, Eastern time. Yeah, check out them over there. And Might Be Wrong's gone. Okay. Well, I guess that's the show, guys. I guess that's the show. Well, let's talk. Let's chat a little bit. Let's chat a little bit. What do you guys think of that story? First of all, I want to know what you think about the comparison between the Grosskloth, whatever his name is, Gage, and this story. And what do you think about the governor of Texas pardoning this guy? I think it's great, but you don't have to agree with me. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm a woman, so why would you even listen to me anyway? Not sure why all you people are here, honestly. Life to the Max likes my that old joke about him being disarmed. I did make many memes during that trial about him being disarmed. And that woman with the kid too. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. That woman with her story with that kid. Like, oh, I don't know. I don't know where I dropped my kid off. How ridiculous was that? Yeah, Abbott is standing his ground for sure. I hate to end it because I don't think I've ever had this many people in a live chat before. So I appreciate you all being here. But I've been going for 2 hours, right? 4:30, 5:36, 2 hours. And I haven't eaten today. So I think I'm going to have to end it because I got to go cook dinner for my husband because that's what a good wife does. And thank you very much to my guests. Might Be Wrong and Steven, who neither of which could get their tech to work. But I promise, guys, their show on Monday nights is great. And they're both not calling in from a cell phone and actually have studio setups. And it actually is a very good show. I highly recommend it. Go over there to Rumble, to the weekly Rumble on Rumble, and check them out over there. It is the last live stream of the month. So everybody who participated in the show, I'm not sure if we're going to count Might Be Wrong and Steven from today because that was a little ridiculous. But if you've participated in the show, if you've gotten a trivia question right, or you've donated at all, your name is in the drawing for a coffee mug this month, is the prize. And we will be doing that on the 2nd. June 2nd, and on that day, we're going to be going over the case of Taylor Wright. I have a little bit of a, 6 degrees of separation to this case. So I'm really interested in telling you guys the story. Taylor Wright was a private investigator in Florida. She was previously a cop in one of the Carolinas, and she was a private investigator in Florida. And my connection to that is, my husband, Mr. Zed, was a private investigator before he went to Afghanistan. He actually quit his private investigator job to go to Afghanistan for a year. And he worked with a guy who worked with Taylor, who unfortunately was murdered in Florida. And Mr. Zed and I were coming back from a cruise, I think we were coming back from a cruise, and we stopped to visit this friend in Florida in Jacksonville right after this happened. And we stopped to visit with this friend, and he was telling us at the time that it happened, or at the time we were passing through, she was missing. So he was telling us all about her and how she's missing and something's up, something's fishy, something's up. And I remember that very, very, very strong memory of this friend telling us about her and just saying what a great person she was, what a good private investigator she was, and then completely forgetting about it for years. And then I see on some other true crime channel this case, and it's the same girl, and it's a really crazy case that happened in Pensacola, Florida. And it's very weird to me to have this sort of odd connection to it, being that, you know, because of my husband's previous work as a private investigator, I know many private investigators, and it's scary. So anyway, that'll be coming up next week. The Taylor Wright case at 4:30 Eastern time on this channel right here. If you're here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new. If you were entertained at all, even a little bit, hit the subscribe button, come back, see what I have to offer. I'd appreciate it. You would be doing me a favor. You would be doing the algorithm a favor. And we all know how the YouTube algorithm likes to punish people like me. So hit the subscribe button, right? Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you next time.
First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man, Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Won't you so loco? Show off your photos, throw out your Twinkies, throw up your ho-hos, tuck in them pinkies. Them shits a no-no. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Brought to my attention by the man with the mojo. My 8 subscriber, I'm a bagoso. Jump in them sinkies and dump them mimosos. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Looking for new drills, needed a new track of land. I used to dig the Simpsons, man. Bumping Biggie, Pop, Smash Mouth, and Simple Plan. No scrubs for the crease in my pimples, damn. From the south streets of southeast Michigan, hitting shuffle till I settled on a different jam. And when a dime won't do, a better nickel can. And let me tell you, when I used to dig them Simpsons, man. A funny thing about time, you can't get it back. A tight grip, but it rips the jacket. Slight lisp with a mix of traffic. You see about me, like Mr. Glass. Always wished I was a whiz at graphics. Take me back to the past where the hits were massive. You could hear Gladys Knight and the Pips on plastic. Misfit molasses. Delete my contacts just so I can stick to glasses. Feel that skipped out, so I miss the classics. Aristotle of the bottle, Seneca of the sinful action, senator of the simple maxim. I swear for a skillful Saxon, I'm still relaxing. Who wanna take a dip in the mind sauce, making up for the time lost, forgetting all my past was when I sign off. Prime bribe, prime rib, Agent Smith, crime boss, popping red pills till my mind's off, mind's off. First Florida man. First